Hello, it is Anika from Living for Later, and today I just wanted to get on to give you a word of encouragement. I am just really realizing more now than ever that prayer is just such an awesome tool. I think it is something that if we're not careful, we can underuse as opposed to tapping into. Uh, the power that is really there. I think we have allowed the enemy to really trick us in the church world to really fight with natural means, not really recognizing that God has given us just so much power and so much authority in prayer. So I really am realizing that we really need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to reading our word, not just focusing on books about the word, but actually reading the word that the books came from. And I'm not, don't miss me, I'm not against us reading, books written by great men and women of God, but that should never take the place of you reading the Bible. They're supplements, they shouldn't be the main course. So, another thing again is just getting back to prayer. I just really recognize that we have really missed the importance. There's so much going on, and I think sometimes we miss the authority that we've been given in prayer. And this morning I was reading in James 5 where it speaks about the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous person. It produces great result, and this of course is a New Living Translation. And then it goes on to say Elijah, the great prophet Elijah, the one who called down fire from heaven and killed the prophets of Baal. The scripture says that he was human just like we were, and he prayed that there would be no rain for 3.5 years, and there was no rain. And at his decree, the rain came after 3.5 years. And what gets me is the fact that, as the scripture says, that Elijah, he was human just like we were. Sometimes we can read scripture and we think, oh, that was the great so and so. But the scripture is like, hey, he was flesh and blood just like you. But he dared to use the power that he had because he was connected to God, and he recognized, God, you've given me the authority. This is what you're speaking into my ear to pray and to decree. So first of all, that's a whole nother story right there. Elijah was positioned in such a way where he was able to hear the voice of the Lord. So because of that, he had the authority to pray these things. And my God, what would happen if the people of God today would be in a position to hear the voice of God, to really decree in prayer what they hear his voice saying to him. So today, again, I just want to encourage you to recognize that you have power. Tap into it. If you're walking uprightly before God, recognize that you are victorious, and your prayers can shift some things. And don't you dare let the enemy trick you to believing, oh, you don't have the power to pray that. That's the big stuff. Again, going back to James 5, the scripture says, Elijah, the great prophet Elijah, he was human. He was human just like you and I. So today, take on the power that God has given you in prayer and pray. Have the courage to decree things. Please leave me a testimony below if there's been times where you dare to take God at his word and you have prayed and you've seen God move. Just want to encourage you again in that. So you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.